Alright, well, hello everyone and welcome to today's first of two streams, the only gameplay stream for today. Today is indeed Friday, September 18th, 2015, and I am Darkside Phil. Hello and welcome. First thing I'll do is apologize for yesterday. Schedule got thrown out of whack this week by a day because, quite honestly, I was sick. And it had nothing to do with, like, a physical illness, meaning, like, oh, I got a virus. I 100% know that it was something that I ate on Wednesday. I know exactly what it was. However, I'm not going to spoil it for you because it's actually something that I did for DSP Tries It. It's actually something that for years I've read in the comments of DSP Tries It, and people have said, why don't you try this? I don't understand why Phil doesn't try this. To which I've always said there's a reason why. And this week I said, finally, for some variety, let's go ahead and do it. And let's try this item that people have said in the comments for years, right? And of course I got sick from it. And I'm not surprised. I'm honestly not surprised that it happened. It's just unfortunate that it happened so violently. Basically, I woke up yesterday morning out of nowhere because I felt fine the night before. I woke up. My stomach felt like it had an never-ending, bottomless pit inside of it. It felt so sickening, like I could explode and barf at any moment. It was really bad. Then I stood up, and when I got out of bed, I was incredibly lightheaded and dizzy, and I could barely walk around the house. I actually slept for an extra, well, tried to sleep, didn't really sleep, just laid in bed for 2 more hours after I normally would get up. I had a bowl of soup, which I did manage to stomach, but then I still felt bad, so I chugged several bottles of water, went back to sleep for several hours, woke up again, still felt sick. So I really felt sick until probably around 5 p.m. yesterday. And finally after that, I was able to eat a light dinner of pasta, and that was it. And then last night, I said, well, we already screwed up the schedule. We might as well just, delay everything a day. So basically, yesterday's schedule, it was supposed to happen on Thursday, is happening today. Yesterday, there was no new gameplay, but I did work on and complete the first part of the best and worst of Alan Wake montage. And I really hope that you'll check it out. That was way back in 2010, so over 5 years ago. And that's one of my favorite playthroughs that I've ever done, quite honestly. And it took a lot of time to put that together. I had an entire day where I was downloading videos for around 3 hours and looking through them. And then yesterday I was also sifting through the videos, and I did all the editing. So really, that montage, which was a whopping like 13 minutes long, actually took about 6 or so hours of work, if not more, to put together. So I hope you'll check it out. I do. I hope you'll check it out. I'll be honest, if people really don't have interest in these edited montages anymore, then it might be something that I abolish. And I'm just being honest with you. Since the start of this year, there's 2 major things that I've changed. Number 1, I put video editing and video footage into my Hateful Truth game reviews, and those seem to have whopping positive response. The reviews are getting great views. So in that regards, that seems to have been a major positive change. But on the flip side, these montages, I was doing the best and worst of the month, and the best and worst of DSP Classics are not turning out very well. I'll be honest. At the very beginning of the year, January and February, they got like tremendous views, and since then it's been a steady decline. And if you really want my honest opinion, I'm going to talk a little bit more about it on my podcast later tonight. So definitely tune into that. Later tonight, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, and I'll give my full opinion. But if you really want my honest opinion, it's this simple. People like to see me play video games. People like to see me play them live on stream. They like to see the hilarious videos when it's new. Even though there may be a small amount of people who don't watch the playthroughs but want to watch a montage, that's not the wide variety of people who watch my content. And it was funny because at the beginning of this year, everyone's like, you need to change it up. You need to be more like other YouTubers. You need to do edited content. You need to do this and that. And I did it. And guess what? It hasn't paid off. I would say the Hateful Truth reviews, yes, it has. The Hateful Truth reviews, in my opinion, are just much better with the gameplay footage edited into them, and I'm definitely going to continue doing that. But when I'm doing the best and worst of a month or two, you know, compilation, and I'm putting 6 to 8 hours of work into a montage, and I'm taking 2 streams out of the gameplay rotation to do it, and, you know, I'm barely getting any attention on it, then I don't think it's worth it. You know what I mean? And some people have said, well, do them less. So I did. I actually have done them less. If you didn't notice, the last monthly montage that I did was the best and worst of June and July together. And I released that in early August. That didn't do too well. The last one that I did was Start the Party of DSP Classics. And that one did okay at first and then really didn't do too well in the second part. And now this first part of Alan Wake isn't doing very well. So I'll be honest, I don't think it's worth the time away from me playing games, especially when I'm in the middle of these games that people... I want to see Phil play more Metal Gear. I want to see more Mario Maker. There's new games coming out next week. I want to see him play that. I'm disappointed Phil didn't get to play this game and this game and this game during the summer. And it's like, okay, but that's because, I have limited amount of time. I'm one person. I'm a one-man entertainment business. And so I have to divvy out my time appropriately. And is it worth 8 hours to do a montage that not a lot of people are paying attention to when I could be easily playing, more ongoing playthroughs? And that's kind of what I'm trying to figure out right now. And this year, don't get me wrong, this year was definitely a year where I needed to try some new stuff, and I absolutely did, between the mini marathons and the edited content and all the different stuff that I'm doing. But I think what we're seeing is some things are successful and some things aren't. So please, if you haven't yet, watch the best and worst of Alan Wake montage. It's live right now on DSPGaming. That's only part 1. I'm at least going to do a part 2, if not a part 3. That playthrough of Alan Wake is actually really long. That's one of the games that starts out strong, but unfortunately I really feel that it got really slow and repetitive near the second half of the game, and it just dragged out way too long. That playthrough is 70 freaking parts. And just to give you some perspective, the first montage there, which is the first couple of hours, is only 7 parts of the playthrough. So there's no way I'm going to be doing the entire game. I'll probably jump around and look for funnier or more entertaining parts of the game for the next 1 to 2 more parts. And that's going to be coming out for the rest of September, if not, early October. But that, quite honestly, may be the last best and worst of DSP Classics montage because, if there's no interest, there's no interest. And I'm not, like I said, just to give you some perspective, right now that video's been out for around 15, 16 hours. It says it has 2,000 views. And typically I can get, on a regular part of a playthrough, I can get around 2,000 views. So, 10 minutes of work of me doing an ongoing game people want to see versus 8 hours of work. You could see the comparison there, and that my time has to be better spent, right? So it is what it is. We'll see what happens after a couple days, if there is interest in it, if in the coming weeks, and that'll be my ultimate decision maker. But, especially now, let's face it, now that I'm into these busy gaming months anyway, I think more people would rather have me focus on playing the new games, reviewing the new games, rather than, take out 2 streams a week to work on, a montage. I think people would rather have me work on the games, so we will see how things happen as they progress to the end of the year, and then I'll make my ultimate decision on that, okay? So, today, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize because obviously we're behind, but today is going to be what was going to happen yesterday. So right now on stream, we're going to be playing, excuse me, we're going to be playing about 2.5 to 3 hours of Metal Gear Solid 5. If you're not caught up on this playthrough yet, shame on you, because I really had fun earlier this week playing it. And, basically I've completed Chapter 1, which means that I have beaten the major story portion of the game when it comes to kind of the main game. Apparently, for them to understand, there is story progression in Chapter 2, but there is some repetition and stuff that's necessary as well. So I'll be doing all the missions that are required of me, all the yellow marked missions, of which I've heard there's like maybe 5 or 6 more. There's a bunch of optional missions that apparently have opened up that I don't need to do. And, I'll be doing the side missions that are required to get the best ending. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. Some people have... it's up for debate. Some people have said, you have around 10 to 20 hours left if you want to get the best ending. And other people are like, nah, it's like 5 to 10 hours maybe. I don't know. We'll see. So we're playing this today, 2.5 to 3 hours. Tonight will be the podcast, the return of the Hate Live podcast. The first time I'm doing that podcast in over a month. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got a ridiculous amount of stuff to talk about. There's been so much going on, in particular this past week. There's been tons of gaming news. DLCs releasing, delays of games, new management shifts, new directions. You know what I mean? And, it is kind of interesting to see that when I don't do the podcast, all of a sudden tons of stuff happens, right? So between I'm going to be talking about YouTube. I'm going to be talking about some developments with the United States copyright law and how it's going to possibly affect YouTube. And I'm going to blow open the YouTube copyright system and expose it for how much of a piece of shit it is right now, because so many YouTubers don't understand it. I've noticed big YouTubers bigger than me, that don't understand the YouTube copyright system and say all this stuff about it that's completely wrong. And I want to try to clear up some of those misconceptions for my viewers and let everyone know this is how it really works. And, this is why it's terrible. I myself have been a victim of this recently. And it really is a pain in the ass that YouTube, here we are, right? YouTube, I started in 2008, 7 fucking years later. They have not put in one iota of effort to improve their copyright striking system at all. It's the same system as 2008. And I could prove it because guess what? I had the same false copyright strikes filed against me in 2010 as I just did in 2015. It's the same broken system, and because no one is taking YouTube to task and suing them for this, they refuse to change it. So I'm going to reveal all this tonight. I'm going to explain in full how the system works. Hopefully this will help to inform and help out other YouTubers, and also people who are watching YouTubers' content and wonder, oh gee, says this thing is not available for viewership because of a copyright strike. Well, you're going to find out about all that nonsense right now. And, yeah, we'll see. We'll talk about that. It's going to be a fun show. There's other stuff to talk about as well. I've got a giant laundry list of stuff to talk about on the podcast tonight. So it should be pretty fun. So I hope you'll definitely join me for that podcast live on stream if you can be here, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. If not, well, no worries. As always, that podcast will be going live on the King of Hate Vlogs, my vlogging channel, immediately following the end of that live stream. Okay? Now, tomorrow, since everything's out of shift, let me explain. Tomorrow will be more Super Mario Maker. And I'll be honest, at this point, I've done pretty much almost everything that I think is possible in the game up to this point. Meaning, I've played the highest ranked stages, I've played viewer stages, I've created my own stages, I've done the 100 Mario Challenge. Alright? So, at this point, I think maybe this session tomorrow may be the session to finally end it off. And what I mean by that is maybe I'll check out, again, what's the highest ranked maps now that it's a week later. Maybe there's a lot of better stuff up there. And maybe I'll try to make some more stuff. As you know, I got the underwater stages unlocked. Maybe I'll try to make a really tough underwater stage. And I'll mess around a little bit more with it. And that'll be tomorrow's gameplay stream. In addition, there will be a new episode of DSP Tries It, as I already mentioned, tomorrow. It's going to be this item that actually made me physically ill yesterday. So that'll be fun. And then Sunday will be more Metal Gear Solid, FYI, just to make it clear. So Metal Gear today, Mario Maker tomorrow, Metal Gear on Sunday. Monday I'm kind of playing it by ear, but I think it's going to be more Metal Gear on Monday too. And then Monday night will be the return of Fallout New Vegas, and depending on what I can actually make happen in that game, it may be very close to the end of the playthrough. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to progress yet with that playthrough, because there's one side mission line that I want to unlock, and I haven't been able to unlock it yet. And then this week we got a new game. I don't know if you're aware, Soma. It's a survival horror game from the makers of Amnesia: The Dark Descent, which was an incredibly popular survival horror game on the PC several years ago. So it's their first kind of new IP since Amnesia. It comes out for the PlayStation 4 this Tuesday. I'll be playing that with Facecam, and yes, with the stream chat closed, since people love it when I play these survival horror games with the stream chat closed. That's how I'll be playing it. So it's going to be fun. We're going to have a fun new survival horror game going on all this week. I'll be continuing on with Metal Gear Solid 5 and Mad Max and Fallout, so it's going to be a great week overall. Alright, And now, last but not least, everyone, please bear with me as I do the gratuitous plugs, and then I promise we'll get started with gameplay. First of all, ladies and gents, thank you to those of you who did participate and did pledge to my Patreon account in the month of August. As of right now, ladies and gents, all of those perks for the month of August should have been granted. And what I mean by that is if you need a private Q&A video, if you needed a t-shirt, if you need your forum account upgraded, everything should be either in process or processed. So if you were waiting to get your forum account upgraded, check on the website today, and possibly it will be upgraded. Okay? Now, let's fast forward to present day, September. For those of you who are interested in pledging for September to my Patreon account at patreon.com/darksidephil, the big thing this month is if we hit a $1,250 goal, which I think we will. We've hit it every month so far since I started Patreon, so I don't think that, there's any reason why we wouldn't this month. But if we hit a $1,250 goal this month, that means that on Halloween, October 31st, I'll be doing a mini marathon of survival horror games, whether it's just one game that I play all day, or if it's a smaller amount of games, or a larger amount of games that I play for a shorter amount of time. Maybe like a 4 games that I play for like an hour, 2 hours each. Okay? So, that's huge. $5 pledge in the month of September. You can nominate and vote on the games I can play for my horror marathon. And I'm excited because I haven't done any special thing for Halloween in a long time. It's been a really long time since I took the time out to do it. This year, I'm finally doing it. Even though I'm going to be so busy with Assassin's Creed Syndicate and Halo 5 and WWE 2K16, I'm going to take the day away from all that to do a Halloween special this year. And I hope that you will join me for that. But, $5 pledge will get you into the mix. You don't understand the amount of power that patrons actually have now that I've given them the power to nominate and vote on the games that I play in these events. Pretty big, okay? So, that's really all the plugs I have for that. The only last thing I'll say is, if you're looking for some nice handmade glycerin soaps, if you're looking for some wax tart melts as a candle alternative to make your house smell good, check out my girlfriend Leanna's business, The Black Currant, which can be found at etsy.com/shop/The Black Currant, spelled Currant. Right now, she just launched her new fall line of products, including 10 new scents that are all fall-based, and I actually helped her pick out these scents. Personally, right now, I'm actually washing with soap. That's one of these scents. I think it's like apple cider. It's something apple. I don't know what it is. It's one of those scents I'm actually using, and it's really nice. It's like really nice smelling. It's great. And I can't, obviously I'm going to kiss its ass because it's my girlfriend's product, but I still like it. It's actually, I'm not just kissing the product's ass. I've used it for nothing else but this to wash my body for 2 years. And it's really high quality soap. So check it out at etsy.com/shop/The Black Currant. And I certainly hope that you will check out the business and maybe consider, placing an order, whether it's for you, whether it's for one of your friends, whether it's for a family member, a sister, a mother, an aunt, grandmother, or, you might just like the stuff yourself. I like it myself. There's actually male-oriented scents that we've got on the website, so. All right, everyone, so that is it. Thank you very much for being here for the return of Metal Gear Solid 5. We're going to start with gameplay now. Appreciate it, and let's get started. Thank you, everybody.